How do? Time for Spider and Old Scooter again. This is the Sergeant Schultz, the Schultzie edition of the game. Spider of which we speak is, of course, Spider Solitaire, the iMac default version. Came with the 2014 iMac, and I play it all the time. So we're going to give it a shot, and I'll tell you why I call it the Schultzie edition in a minute. It's going to be kind of a environmental game. Get to see the mighty fungus-infected orange. Get to talk about pending disasters. My goodness, it's going to be fun. But in the meantime, let's play the game. Spider Solitaire has become sort of a passion of mine, so I play it on YouTube. I have no idea why anyone would watch it, and not many do, as a matter of fact. But I enjoy doing it, and it somehow gives cause to the game itself for me. What do you mean by cause, Duffer? Well, I don't know. But aside from being a wonderful distraction while I'm worried about the news, what's to worry about the news, right? Or when I'm trying to write and simply get stuck, which happens a lot, or any variety of other issues when I can use a little diversion on the side. Not that kind of diversion, dirty mouth, but it does the job. It diverts. I can spend a lot of my concentration on it. And when you're doing that, you can't concentrate on other less pleasant things. So we're here at the kind of the last move that I see at the end of the first deal. So I'll run down the things that lead me to the Sergeant Schultz. Schultzie, of course, I know nothing. And I ran into a lot of that in one of my ventures into the Breitbart, commenting on stories section yesterday about climate change. I forgot the actual story. They were picking, they being the readers of Breitbart, or the bulk of them, were picking on somebody for saying that climate change and global warming and disruption to our climate are real things, and they were just calling them idiots. And the one I like best is to say that to believe in climate change is like being in a religion, that there is the religion of climate change. That's how irrational it is. And these people are classical know-nothings. They reject science. They reject the concept that science is trying to pursue a physical truth. They certainly reject the idea that we're in great danger, which we are. The thing that really got my... Is it blood or brain that boils? I guess it's your blood that boils. That means you're mad. Well, that wasn't it. I was just, struck by the craziness of it all. And then shortly thereafter, I read an article about how the models, the ever-improving models on climate projection, show things that are sort of nerve-wracking, like it's now more and more likely that in more than one major place in the world where corn is grown, the maize, they could have simultaneous droughts. Very rarely has happened historically. We have a great drought in the Dust Bowl, and the other big corn producers, China, India, Australia, parts of Africa, come through, and prices may bump up a little bit, but if two of these big super producers happen to have a drought at the same time, that would be pretty bad. It would be very destructive to the markets. It would put millions of folks into bankruptcy. It would starve a lot of people, which is even more serious than bankruptcy if you think about it. And maybe thinking about it is making me miss moves. That's always a possibility. But maybe not. Should I do this? Then I could do that. No, I couldn't. Well, see. I think I will do that just to sort of clear the way, so in case I happen to pull a good card, in case Spider Mac, the AI behind this program, decides to give me some good cards, that I could actually use them productively. Boy, she didn't give me that many this time, did she? I could do this, which is sort of sad. It's already got this 8-4 stack blocked. Now I double blocked it. Well, here's a little move. Good. It's better than no moves at all. But anyway, this new possibility that the climate change is going to have this sort of around the corner of effect of creating multiplicities of climate disruptions simultaneously, like huge droughts in, say, America and China simultaneously, and boom, there goes. Actually, China is the #1 corn producer in the world. America's #2, so #1 and #2 happen to get droughted out at the same time. That's scary. Already we're seeing people starve to death with the mixture of climate change and war, usually, or revolution. That's happening all over East Africa, as you probably know, be you a reader of the news. I'm going to do this just so I have a hole. Halfway through the game here, 3 deals in, nothing much is happening. So we'll see if anything brilliant is hiding under any of these. Can't do that. Well, I could do this, and then bring my hole back if there were any good reason to do that. How about this? This one and this one. Is there anything under there? Another red jack. Well, what do you know? So that's the corn problem. That's got me worried. And then have you read about blast? If you're into ag, you know all about it. It's a terrible wheat disease. It has transmuted or something from being kind of a rye and 2 or 3 other grains, not too serious a disease, to moved over to wheat, and it loves wheat, so it's destroying wheat. It's pretty much wiped out the wheat crop in Bangladesh this year, I read. That can't be good. But there is wheat grown elsewhere, so Bangladesh can import its wheat to make its flour and so forth. But this blast, which is apparently very aptly named, blasts away at the wheat, and it is spreading. And so far, nobody has figured out how to stop it. So that's kind of a concern. And then the biggest thing is climate refugees, where people have to move away because there's not enough food there, or there's no way for them to make a living there because of climate disruption. One of the obvious ones is that when the seas rise, incrementally even, then come the storms, and they have all the coastal cities suffering vast damage. And when it's vast enough, people have to get up and leave, and they suddenly become climate refugees. Right now, all those people in Yemen and all those people in the various Eastern African countries that are suffering from a mix of famine and war, they would love to be refugees, but they can't do it. They've got no way to get anywhere and nowhere to go if they did. And that pretty much locks you into wherever the famine is. A move. Good heavens. And another move. And another move. So that was the first little bright spot. Maybe if I talked about famine and impending catastrophe more often, I'd do better at the game. Is it possible Spider Mac is a sadist? Anything is possible. Anything. So, we have that combination of stuff. Oh, and the orange. You know, this is my... I need to find a way. I'll put it right in the middle of the picture and be still for a minute. And maybe I can go back and catch some. As you see, the mold is gradually and in a fairly straight line progressing around the orange. Humans are gradually, although not in a straight line, covering the planet. And the impacts are going to be similar, I think, unless we figure a way to contain our explosive population growth. Why don't you take a big challenge and figure it out? Is this 3 or that 3? Do I want that? I've got a king, so I'm going to go with this 3. Now I have 2 black aces. So what do you want? Perfection? I did this. And I could do this. No, I don't want to do that. Gave away $1. What do we got here? We're $94 in the hole. We're down to the next to the last deal. The world is in turmoil, and all of the members of the Sergeant Schultz, the Schultzie know-nothings, are saying, fraud, hoax, religion, there is no climate change. 5-4, I'm going to say, well, fiddlesticks. I hear Airedales adjusting themselves. Oh, there goes one across the floor. That was not an Airedale you saw in the background. For sure. Careful. Hate for that not Airedale to fall down the stairs. Well, phooey and kablooey. I think an anticlimactic end. A loss of $96. It's $500 to get in, $550 to break even. I'm $94 below break even, so I mean, is that right? $96 below break even, of course. Arithmetic. Sometimes it's just too hard. And the game is over. I'm pleased to have been able to unload my anxieties on you. However, may peace return to your mind and calm to your demeanor and winnings to your pockets, health on your body, and stability in your mind. It's about the best I can do for a benediction. Adios.